All right, let's get started. So first, I brought you a frozen chunk of dough, and you're gonna let that defrost. You can either do it in the refrigerator or you can let it sit on the counter. And once it's defrosted, it's gonna be more like this. So really soft and ready to go. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna sprinkle some flour on the counter because it will get a little bit sticky. And I open the dough. And we're gonna just put the dough right onto the floured surface. All right, so we want to roll this out. And it needs to be about an 8-inch rectangle. Now, I'm not good at measuring, so I'm gonna just kind of show you what maybe. If it gets sticky, we just put a little more flour on it. Okay. So we are gonna want to make little tiny balls. And I want 8. You're going to end up with about 64 balls when you're done with this, out of this piece of dough. Okay. So when you kind of got a roundish rectangle, you're going to take a pizza cutter if you have that, or if you don't have a pizza cutter, you can use a knife, and you're just going to cut 8 strips, okay, as you 8 different strips. So I'm going to start in the middle and cut half, and then I'm going to cut half again, and then cut those halves in half. And that will be the same on this side. Half and half and half again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then you're going to make each strip have about 8 different little sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what we got in that one, but that's all right. We'll do these ones where we cut it in half, cut it in half, and half, and half. All right. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get a bowl, and you're going to melt 1 cube of butter in the microwave. Okay, I'm going to go put that in the microwave. All right. Now we've melted our butter, and we're now going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, so 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then you're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. Did you hear the beeping? That's our oven that's ready. So you're going to take a 1/2 teaspoon of this, and then you want to just kind of roll it in your fingers and kind of munch it up a little bit so it's kind of powdery. And then you're just going to stir this up. Okay, so we've got your butter, garlic powder, and oregano, and I've just stirred it up. Next, you're going to get a bread pan like this, and you are going to, this is what our bread's going to cook in. So we have our bread pan, and now we have our little squares. You're simply going to roll those squares into a ball. And once you've got your ball, you're going to drop it in the butter. And you're going to repeat that over and over until you have all your little balls in the butter. They don't need to be perfect balls, but just enough to... Okay. So you'll see here in my butter bowl, I've got my little balls, and then I'm going to simply just pick up the ball And then we're going to just place it in the pan. Pick up the ball, place it in the pan. And then you're just going to repeat that process until we've made all of the balls and we've dipped them in all of the butter. Okay, so that's all it is just right in the pan are little balls. So we're just going to repeat that again. You're going to roll your ball in your hand and put it in the butter. That's all. Once you've got one layer already down, you can, if you'd like, to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese. If you have Parmesan cheese that you want to sprinkle on, you can. You just do a nice little light coating if you want. You don't have to. And then you just continue putting the rest of the balls right on top of that bottom layer. All right, this is what it looks like. You can add more cheese on top if you'd like. We'll just do a nice little sprinkle on top, not too much. And then you're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. During my 10 minutes, I cleaned everything up, wiped my counters, and now it's time to bake our bread. So we bake it at 350 for 35 to 40 minutes. Our bread is done. Looks delicious. So you can just eat it straight out of the pan, or we can dump it onto a plate. Oh, and there's some marinara sauce, and you can just dip and enjoy.